Hello everyone, this is HDL. Asus Rogue Invitational Tournament thingy, as there was a lot of good games there. I did already cast the finals, of course, so I decided to have a little bit of fun with this one. So it is going to be a PvP, spawning down the bottom left side. It is going to be Roots, Puck. Everyone from Team Root seems to have some sort of interesting personality or something about them that kind of makes them stand out. And up in the top right side, it is going to be good old EG's Incontrol. I can't help but love this guy. He's a fellow Oregonian and has been playing StarCraft 1 and 2 for a long time. But more notably, at least recently, he has been a caster at a lot of events, even an event host. And people absolutely love him. He has been on State of the Game as well, as everybody knows. But of course, he is on Team EG. Now, one interesting thing about Mr. Puck down here is that in order to join the Team Root, he had to play a best of 21 versus the player Fitzy here, and ended up winning that one 11-8. So it almost went to an ace match in a best of 21. Barely able to squeeze out that victory, 11-8. So anyways, looks like he is going to be going pretty standard opener here. Same thing out of Incontrol, just keeping an eye on the opening timings here. You can see that Incontrol is a little bit later, but maybe he does. I guess he doesn't have an extra probe. But we do have the gas going to be going down for Puck right now. Down it goes for EG as well. Ooh, he's getting a second gas there. Maybe doing the fancy 2 probes in gas to just make sure his build is completely refined. But yeah, I have a feeling this is just going to be a for funsies game. I imagine that this was something that EG Incontrol played on ladder. And because I don't think Puck has played in any recent tournaments. None that I can remember off the top of my head. But anyways, this is most likely from ladder, and should be a ton of fun. Of course, the map is going to be Cloud Kingdom, which again is that map made by the community for the community. And a lot of tournaments have been using this map lately. Blizzard has picked it up and has fully supported the fact that the community can make amazing maps. It still weirds me out to this day that clicking on a pylon in a replay doesn't show me the radius of the power there. It's weirded me out, man. Right now, Incontrol does indeed have those 2 probes on the gas right there. That helps you refine your build perfectly. There's a lot of builds that Protoss have been using that basically rely on things like that. Double gateway going to be going down right now for a total of 2, as both players are going to be following it up what looks like pretty standardly here, although it does look like Incontrol is going to have his gas just sooner straight up than his opponent because, well, 4 probes are going to mine quicker than 3, plus you're able to get that 2-2 split as opposed to having to put all 3 in one of them. So right there you can see Puck desperately wants to get some gas, knows that he's already behind here, but this is one thing, or behind in the gas, not behind in the game. But this is one thing that is so interesting about PvP now, is that it's starting to evolve into a lot of different openings right now, where just scouting your opponent doesn't necessarily tell you exactly what they're doing at this stage of the game. Before you could tell, okay, it's going to be a 4-gate or it's going to be an Immortal popping out of a Robo. Those are going to be the only options, maybe a Stargate as well. But now, I mean, that's not really the case. You scout there and you see these double gas and you're like, okay, that actually tells me one thing, is that he's not rushing super quickly with 4 gateways. That's it. That's all it tells me. So that is, it's going to be interesting to see exactly how this pans out. Puck is going to spot this pylon down here, though. At least I believe he did. Did that probe see it? Yes, he did. So he knows that something fishy's going on right now. And right now, Incontrol's got to be moving out with his stalker to try and spot this probe, because he knows that there's going to be a probe out on the field, either spotting his pylons or setting up his own pylons. He needs to make sure that he doesn't get rushed by this. That probe is going to get on out of there, as a stalker for Incontrol going to go ahead and move down here. Puck will be able to easily hold off 1 stalker, but is he going to be able to hold off 2? We're about to find out here. He does now have 2 of his own. We'll be able to shoot the one for Incontrol first, and since he gets the first shot, that's going to make Incontrol have to retreat on out of here, because he knows, hey, I've only got 2, he's got 2. Not a whole lot that I can really do against this. Warp Gate is now done, which means that the Warp Gates are going to be upgraded almost immediately. And yes, for anyone who has played StarCraft once, you already know that that means these will never be gateways again. There's actually no reason to morph those back into gateways. Maybe we'll see a reason to in Heart of the Swarm, but ever since StarCraft 2's been out, you just kind of leave them as warp gates forever and ever and ever. So continuing on forward here, we do actually see Phoenix play out of Incontrol. I was wondering if he was going to do this. His warp gate is done now as well, so we can upgrade in these warp gates anytime he wants. There's the upgrade, as well as Phoenix on the way. Now, Phoenix are really, really good in PvP, especially because the probes are so vulnerable. There's no way you can afford to get a forge in PvP. Plus, your Blink Stalkers, even if you have Blink Stalkers, they just don't do damage quickly enough to save the probes. So if you're able to be on the offensive with the Phoenix, the Phoenix, then you can definitely put on the hurt. But at the same time, you got to be very careful because your army is going to be severely weakened by the fact that you are going for Phoenix here, because your ground army, I mean, it's just going to suffer straight up. You have to build a Stargate. You have to build all the Phoenix out as well. He may move out with 3 Phoenix, might also move out with a 4th one on the way as well. But we're just going to have to see if he plans to use these defensively versus some sort of immortal timing, or if he wants to go straight for the probes. Honestly, I think going for the probes is a great choice. But with the Observer here, it is going to spot everything. So that is going to give Puck time to react here. I think Incontrol sees the Observer and realizes, all right, I've got to be on the move with these. I've got to be active, because the Phoenix are one of the units that you have to warrant paying for. Where like Marines, for example, you don't really have to warrant paying for Marines because you're always going to use them. They shoot everything in the game. So it's not like you have to warrant paying for those. But Phoenix, I mean, if you don't do anything with them, then it's just kind of a wasted investment. The longer the game goes on, the less effective they are at doing the harassment. Here they come down to the main base, but you can see Puck already, since he was able to scout that, knows exactly what's going to be headed his way, which is indeed going to be those Phoenix. Total of 4 Phoenix right now. The 4th one should be joining it. There it is right there. So Puck, what he needs to watch out for is keeping his workers alive and making sure his Immortals and Sentries are heavily defended from these Phoenix. Because Phoenix, you got to remember, they do additional damage versus light. They do 20 damage if you include both attacks. 20 damage per shot to light units. This little Sentry right here, he's only got 80 HP, man. He is basically going to be one-shot by the amount of Phoenix that we see here. So or almost one shot anyways, because one has to pick him up, I suppose. But either way, it is going to be very dangerous for the sentries to ever move out in the center of the map. So really what Puck has to do here when you're going up against Phoenix is play a more defensive game, or find an absolute perfect timing where you can move out and force him to engage you with your Phoenix when your army is attacking Incontrol's army here. It's kind of similar to PvZ in that when Mutalisks are harassing you, if you can find a really brilliant timing to actually move out and force the Mutalist to engage you directly, sometimes you can come out way ahead because the Zerg player's not harassing your economy. That's exactly what he wants to be doing here. But now that Puck does have Blink on the way, that's not only a good upgrade to counter the Phoenix here, but also just good for mobility in general. In PvP, the armies are very slow if you get down to the Colossus tech, even Immortals. I mean, they're relatively slow. So blinking in and out of the main base is so effective. It's not like there's a huge swell of Zerglings that's going to swing in there and completely surround your army or anything like that. But overall, this has been a relatively passive game. I think it was wise for Incontrol here not to make too many Phoenix. But as the game goes on, back, I wouldn't say in beta, but back in the early years of StarCraft, because I can say that, Max, it's been out for 2 years. Back in the early year of StarCraft, you could really use Phoenix in the late game to great effect. I don't know if that really plays a role much anymore, although Incontrol says Husky, they're going to be useful for now, as he is going to continue getting out those Phoenix. He does have to get an Observer out, though, because there's currently an Observer sitting out over his expansion. He knows when that expansion is going to go down. He knows what the unit composition is going to be here, so Puck looking to be in pretty good shape. Supplies are almost identical here, though. But this poor Observer is just moments away from death. Incontrol going to be able to kill that one off. And actually, it's only one Stalker and a Sentry. Should still be able to get it, though. And one more shot. Down it goes. Intercepts it over here with Stalkers on the low ground. So that Observer, though, has done its job. It's seen everything that's going on. It knows the timings of the bases. It knows there's no expansion there just yet. And that's got to tell Puck, hey, I can actually keep playing on one base. The reason that is because, you know what, there's 5 Phoenix on the field. That means his army is 5 Phoenix worth smaller, which means that he can sit on one base. If there's no expansion for his opponent, then he's going to be in okay shape. He could also actually just wait until his opponent expands. So once Incontrol throws down this Nexus, if he moves out right then, not only is he going to have the army advantage in the fact that Incontrol has Phoenix, but he's also going to have the army advantage in that, well, he didn't spend 400 minerals on a Nexus. Although right now, it does look like Puck has a lot of money saved up here. It is going to be 600 resources, finally investing in a couple of pylons here, but could warp in some Zealots as well. Indeed he does, but also has a Dark Shrine on the way. A very interesting choice here. I don't know if he realizes it. Well, he has to know that Incontrol has an Observer because he was able to kill off the Observer there at his base. So my guess is that these ETs are actually going to be used for either trying to do harassment during a big battle, or he's going to try and just make Archon straight up, because Archon Zealot is actually surprisingly effective versus Colossus. Number one, because you can just stomp on the force fields, but number two, they just absorb a lot of the damage, and the Zealots get right on top of the Colossus, thus making it so they aren't attacking the main army. So definitely don't count Puck out yet, even though his expansion timing's behind. And he also, you know, it may seem like with the Phoenix, the full map control, the immortal count for Incontrol is going to be extremely good for him, which while that is true at a certain extent, I mean, Puck, he's got a lot of Blink Stalkers. Take a look at the units tab here. It is 17 Stalkers to 3. So if those Stalkers get inside the main base, which I'm actually really surprised I don't see him being active with these Stalkers. The reason is because, oh, need to be careful. That sentry is going to go ahead and get taken out there. Good play by Incontrol, making sure that, hey, if that sentry is away from the pack, I'm just going to kill it outright, which is a lot of resources lost. But honestly, with the Blink Stalkers, you have to kind of be active with them. And on this map, there's so many different angles you can blink into this base that's actually pretty absurd. Right here is a very safe place to blink in and out and to escape when you need to. Of course, you may be worried about engaging that army directly or having to deal with the Phoenix. But again, you got to remember that the army moves so slowly that getting in the main base for just a couple of seconds is going to be enough. Oh, the DTs did make it all the way up here. Where's the observer at? There's already one on the field, though, and I don't know if he's even going to get this robo here. I didn't think these DTs were going to do anything. He does get the robo, I believe. Is he going to get the robo? One or two more hits? No, so close there. Even more resources lost, so Incontrol able to hold off that awkward DT timing, which was supported here by this War Prism on the right side. But I feel like getting a couple more probe kills would have been a lot better than not having a robo here. And you can see second robo just in case, as well as the chrono boost on the robo. Remember that increases shield regeneration rate, so that is going to allow him to make sure he doesn't lose it immediately. And with Colossus on the way, I wouldn't be surprised to see him chrono boost that out as well, just to help those shields and of course help the army size as much as possible. Now we do see Puck. Is he adding on a second robo? Yes, he is. 2 robos gonna be completed here. He also has his own robotics bay, so while he will lose in the Colossus count battle, at least for now, he could warp in an Archon or 2, which can easily turn the tide of battle. Where are those Stalkers at down here at the expansion? Trying to get up here to deal with this, but these Phoenix have just done way too much damage. They're gonna go ahead and get out of there, but what's the overall damage? 10 workers killed to a mere 4. So I guess those DTs sliced away a worker or 2, but definitely needed to do a lot more than that. And right now you can see the shields regenerate so fast when they're being chrono boosted there. And we do have that second robotics now done. I'm telling you guys, double robo is so fun in any matchup. Not saying it's good in any other matchup but PvP, but I personally like doing it because double the robo, double the Colossus, double the fun. That's what I always say. There is going to be the continued Phoenix harassment over here in the center. Where is that War Prism? I know it ended up somewhere. There it is right there, managing to survive, even though there are Phoenix out on the field. Does get one of the Phoenix there. And, I mean, again, Phoenix is a unit that, number one, you have to do harassment, but number two, if you don't do a ridiculous amount of harassment, you actually have to keep them alive. You need them absorbing damage from the Stalkers. You need them doing damage to your opponent's Colossus. You are going to need them in the late game. So that is something that you definitely have to hang on to. And the War Prism is a little less important at this point, let's be honest, because there's really no way that he's going to be able to get that inside the main base. Does look like Incontrol taking out yet another Observer, which could potentially delay the Observer production or the Colossus production of his opponent if he does decide to go for some, or he can just continue powering Colossus and eventually catch himself up with what Incontrol has, if Incontrol at all ever stops that Colossus production. But right now it is going to be 4 Colossus to 2, so he should be just fine right now. Thermal Lance is going to be on the way for Puck, but overall this is one of the more passive Protoss versus Protoss, which is something that we've actually seen, at least I've noticed this quite a lot, is that in PvP and ZVZ, so the 2 mirror matchups, they tend to be a lot longer than they used to be, just because of the balance changes we've seen. And in TVT, they tend to be a lot shorter. So I'll cast a best of 5 TVT, and it ends up being like a 30-minute total series. So I feel like the metagame for StarCraft 2, as always, is changing. But right now, I mean, this is super passive out of both these players. We haven't seen the Phoenix do a whole lot of damage, and we also haven't seen the Blink Stalkers do a whole lot of damage. So this is what we call a gentleman's agreement, where you decide not to do anything super cornball, and just try and force it into the late game, which I do approve of. This DT was saying, just take me. I no longer want to live in this world, as he walked it right up to the Phoenix, and the Phoenix were like, okay, I mean, I guess, kind of weird, but okay. 4 Colossus are now done. Observer Speed is going to be done here for Incontrol. I feel like Observer Speed is one of the most underrated upgrades in the game. Yes, it doesn't affect your army directly, but it allows you to keep an eye on exactly what your opponent's doing, which means that then you decide how do you change your army composition up, which, indirectly, I guess, would affect the exact units you have. So 4 kills on that DT, doing everything he can to make sure that he is not behind in the macro, and even getting ahead in the probe count there, although 3 of them doing the... Oh God, what movie does this remind you of? I don't even want to say it. I'm not even going to say it. That terrible, terrible movie should never be seen by anyone. And Incontrol is going to be moving out. Now, surprisingly enough, he does have +1 attack. I would say in any matchup, the attack upgrades are least important in PvP, which I would never say attack upgrades are unimportant. But in PvP, I mean, just kind of how it shapes up, where everything already does so much damage, everything has so much life, that the extra upgrades don't tend to do as much as they do in other matchups. Now, it will still play a role in this upcoming battle, but at the same time, it's not going to play as big of a role as if it was, say, +1 attack Zealots versus unupgraded Zerglings. We're going to be killing them in 2 hits. The next is going to be going down right here. 4th base for Incontrol. What is going on here, man? I don't think I've ever seen a game in PvP be this passive. That DT getting a couple of kills before he goes ahead and moves out. Incontrol says, you know what? I hate DTs. So I'm going to go ahead and come up here and try and spot where this guy's at. He should be able to spot it. The Observer does have speed here, unless he doesn't, which it doesn't look like he is going to go ahead and spot it there. So this DT does remain a threat. However, with the cannons here, it may be much more difficult to pull anything off like a probe massacre. Might get 1 or 2 kills, but he actually gets surrounded by the probes. 2 more do get taken out, though, so overall workers killed going to be 14 to 11. Has managed to even the score a little bit. We are seeing a DT versus Zealot battle. Well, I don't know who's going to win that. The DT barely wins, but in the end, still died to those Phoenix, which I'm kind of surprised to see the Phoenix still so active in this game. Another DT warping in to begin harassing over here. Can he get any kills on these probes, though? With the cannons there, he's got to be very careful. Incontrol once again going, okay, I don't know about this. Although, nice hold position micro there, which is kind of silly to say hold position micro because you tell a unit not to move. But telling him to hold position in a pretty good spot. The force field did deny him from doing any damage, but he's also delaying mining on that 1 mineral patch. Don't know if that ended up being worth it or not. But really, at this stage of the game, it doesn't really matter, because Puck, I mean, he's maxed out. He can afford to sacrifice a couple of units here. Now, Incontrol delayed his army max out a little bit just to go for that earlier expansion. You can see more probes being added on here, as well as the Mothership, which that is something you almost never see in PvP, because Blink Stalkers, Void Rays, Phoenix, all a great unit versus the Mothership. Plus the Void Ray, or excuse me, the Vortex is very difficult to pull off in PvP because it's a mirror matchup. Could end up losing this Nexus, although these Stalkers are not all shooting at once. There we go. With the +1 attack, he's going to be able to burn this down a little bit quicker. The probes decide, hey, it's probably a good time to go ahead and get out of there. Indeed, down it does go. However, it is not the Mothership Nexus. That Nexus is actually the one at the 3rd base. If he had it in his main base, it might have got taken out. That poor Robotics, which was already bleeding out, is now going to get taken out. Although, blink to the left side. Can he kill off these Colossus? This would be huge. Every Colossus he can get here is going to be very, very nice. I don't know if 2 Colossus was worth it, but taking a look at the units lost tab here, I mean, overall, Incontrol is in the lead. However, lowering the Colossus count by 2 made it 10 Colossus versus 7. Now it's down to 10 Colossus versus 5. 5 Colossus. So I think right now Incontrol is actually going to have to rely on some sort of Archon toilet, which I don't know how that works in PvP. Like, how do you practice for something like that? And so far, these Phoenix, they've got to press that fire button a lot. The Archon's going to be able to push this out of the way. It's just that these units are currently in the way. And there he goes. Might actually be able to kill off all the Phoenix, and he does. Will kill off these destructible debris here as well, which I think is a great, great choice, because you need to be able to be mobile with this army. Yes, they can step up and down cliffs, but right here, I mean, there's no cliffs that you can step on, so only had that much space, so killing that off was the correct answer. 2 attack is now done, and right now Incontrol has 3 attack on the way, but 2 is done for Puck as well. He also has a fleet beacon right now. He could even go for carriers if he wanted to. That might be a definite way of winning this game right now, but so far, he is in the lead, but he's got to watch out for the Mothership. Got to watch out for the fact that there are cloaked units right now. And here we go. Is this going to be the battle? Does Puck decide to bite? No, he's saying, all right, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I freed up a little bit of supply. Need to be careful with the Colossus, though, as Incontrol is able to intercept right now. Incontrol had a great concave there, but at the same time, Puck took very minimal losses. And that means Incontrol has got to be extremely careful right here. So we do see the 4th base on the way for Puck. This is slightly delayed, but keep in mind he was able to do some economic damage earlier by killing off this natural nexus. Still, Incontrol has not quite recovered from that yet. As you can see, he's not mining a lot at that natural here. Is warping in plenty of units, though. Is going to be nearly maxed out, and you got to remember that Puck is going up against a Mothership. A Vortex can change the tide of any battle, because not only can they take out your entire army from each individual battle, but at the same time, that makes your other units die much quicker because there's no other units absorbing the damage. So we got a three-pronged defense here, as he does have his units just kind of chilling there in the center of the map. And he is now getting his own Mothership. So definitely the gentleman's agreement in this game. Also the let's build gateways in the middle of the map agreement as well. That's going to help wall off a little bit and also distract the army should it actually end up going down there. But the +3 attack is done for Incontrol, I do believe, and we don't see any upgrades for his opponent, at least trying to get past that +2 attack. It does look like right now Incontrol got to be going for the 1 armor, and I can't believe how much of a macro game we're actually seeing. These Zealots were saying also, Incontrol, can you please just take me out of this game because we need to free up some supply here. And both players, again, are basically maxed out at this point. 10 Colossus to 8, 4 Archons to 5. Puck, I definitely think, has the unit composition advantage. 14 Zealots to 12. But overall, I mean, this is basically identical. The only difference is that one player has slightly more workers. You can see 53 here for Puck, 60 for Incontrol, which means I don't know who that's going to favor. Is the economy going to favor one, or is a slightly larger army going to favor a player? As there is another more Mothership on the way. Are we actually going to be seeing 2 Motherships in one game? I think the answer is yes, but can he buy enough time to actually get it out right now? We are about to see. Needs to continue chrono boosting this. He has a ton of energy on these Nexus. I think I saw him dump one into there right when I moved the screen, though. And some Zealots over here going to be attacking. This army will get taken out in due time. But again, Zealots at this point, I mean, are they even useful versus this many Colossus? Even if the Zealots get on top of the army, it is going to be lights out, cancels all of those gateways, which, again, the gateways aren't as important, but would like to get those out just simply because he needs reinforcements. Both players needs reinforcements once this big battle finally happens. This upgrade out here looks like it may not finish. The Nexus could go down immediately, and oh my god, I think it's going to be a base race here. Unfortunately, Puck is going to be having a slight delayed start on that as Incontrol gets a big head start right now, and this is going to be a dangerous spot for any unit that is named a probe to be at, because these bases will surely fall here. It does look, though, like Incontrol is going to be in a little trouble right now, as Puck was able to save this expansion down here. We do have a lot of cannons, more Archons warping in over at that base. Both players do have a lot of money stockpiled here, but it's got to come down to, I think, the gas. Who can make more Colossus reinforcements? Who can make more Archons? Because Archons can warp in anywhere on the field, so that's going to help them out quite a bit. A minor attack over here on the left side to try and deny these gateways, but it is 3 attack, 1 armor versus the 2 attack. This could be one big mistake for Puck, is even though upgrades aren't as important in this matchup, is he going to be able to make up for the fact that he doesn't have that many upgrades here? It's going to be tough, especially with so many units on the field, but both players do now have Motherships out. Incontrol does have full energy here, while Puck's is currently at 100. So he himself can do his own Vortex, but how do you make a Vortex work when your opponent is Vortexing as well? That's actually going to be a ridiculous battle if they decide to engage each other directly. There is an expansion over here on the top left side. This might get taken out as there are a couple of probes going to be mining here right now. And the expansion on the right side taken out easily by Colossus here for Incontrol. The probe's going to transfer away, could go down to the bottom right side just to try and get some sort of mining here, but there's not going to be any mining over here on the top left side. So Incontrol down to 2 bases, but at the same time, he's still got his main base, so he can warp in a lot more reinforcements here. Even though he's down in supply, he can start making reinforcements in the main base. Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of money to spare, but at the same time, he does have a lot of minerals to spare on Zealots. So we'll see if that actually plays a big role here in these supply counts. But need to be careful here with these 3 Colossus. They're left completely by themselves. Thankfully for Incontrol, he was able to back that one out right there. But the expansion down the bottom right side is done. Does he decide to open them into warp gates right away? Yes, he does. Needs to get out every single unit he can. Stalkers especially. Incontrol is down in supply here, but there's still the Vortex on the Mothership, so we'll see if that's enough to end up winning him the game. But this expansion down here has not been spotted, as Puck needs to be careful and make extra careful, extra caution that he doesn't allow that to be spotted, because he needs to mine off that as much as he possibly can. Take a look at the income here. I mean, it's 300 to 0. So that's going to be favoring Puck a great deal, although Puck needs to make like 20 pylons here, which is going to be all of his money. And where are those stalkers at? He's got to deal with these Void Rays. Void Rays so good in PvP. It's something you don't see very often. Keep an eye on the health of the Mothership right here, as Puck's Mothership getting so low, and it does fall there, as all of a sudden Incontrol has a Mothership advantage. Not something I thought we'd see quite yet, but no Mothership, no supply means that Puck is going to be on the receiving end of an Archon toilet, which is not good for him. He was able to kill off those Void Rays, but did Incontrol do enough damage here? I feel like, yes, he did, but at the same time, his control's still going to have to be good, still going to have to be top-notch. Might even expand over here in the top center or top left sides, as Puck needs to get back on his feet. He needs to try and get another Mothership, but, I mean, his tech is as reset as it actually gets. And these probes need to also make sure to throw down a building right now, because this base race is getting a little out of control. Did they drop a pylon? I imagine there's a pylon somewhere on the map. I don't think this game's going to end just yet. Yes, there is one up here to the north, two to the north right now. And Incontrol's like, I don't understand where all these buildings are. Now it is going to be revealed that he has removed that nexus from the game. But both these players struggling to try and figure out exactly where they can go. You can see right there, his forces are indeed being revealed. Spots the nexus as Incontrol is playing it very smart. Going to be going for 3 nexus here. But there is currently more units than there are buildings, and by that I mean by far. Look at this, 150 supply out of 16 and 124 out of 18. Both these players going to have to build a lot of pylons, a lot of nexus here. And where are these probes going? Hopefully they drop down another pylon. Yes, they did. He does put a nexus on the left side, which is quite the interesting choice here, but he's got to be careful with these probes. He needs to keep them alive, because you got to remember that if he loses every single probe, there's no way for him to actually remake them until he loses his army, because he's going to be massively supply blocked here. So we are about to find out who's got the beefier army. Incontrol does have the 3 attack and 1 armor versus only the 2 attack, but at the same time, Puck is up to 10 Colossus. He's got 7 Archons, 2 High Templar. He can use those for feedback on that Mothership, which feedbacking the Mothership may actually be the game-winning maneuver if he can end up doing it. Now, does he have any observers? That's the real question. Yes, he's got 1. If he ends up losing that 1, he has no way of spotting these units until he can kill the Mothership, which that's not going to happen. So down go those poor probes, and the probe count looking mighty low for Puck. Does leave this 1 probe up here, but I think sprinkling pylons all over the map is probably the best choice, because Incontrol now is mining, which means he himself can start dropping pylons as well, start working towards that tech. Even if he's just working towards 1 or 2 carriers, I mean, they're going to play a huge role. And Puck here is setting up in the center of the map. I mean, he's got a good concave, but at the same time, he has no economy. The roles have kind of reversed here, as now it is Incontrol getting about 300 minerals per minute. And both players just trying to sit back, figure out where to go from here. As, I mean, this is uncharted territory, because what are you supposed to do in this situation? I don't think anyone has the perfect answer. I think for Puck, he needs to start working on pylons, start working on getting an expansion up. I think Incontrol, same thing, just start making a bunch of pylons, because what are you going to be using this money on? There's actually nothing, literally nothing, other than buildings they can use this money on right now. So I think dropping those pylons would be huge, and might kind of decide who ends up winning this game. But seriously, this is a weird game, because usually in base race scenarios, especially in PvP, the armies are not this large. So at some point, they are going to have to fight. They are going to have to engage. It looks like Incontrol is he going to throw down the vortex here, I believe. Oh no, the feedback on the Mothership here, so there's no vortex. Incontrol is backed into a corner right now. Puck, though, moving a little bit forward. No, making a big mistake. He can't spot the Mothership because the Observer got taken out. Oh, God. 1 HP! What? The Mothership has 1 HP! And Puck just lost every single unit there on the Mothership. Oh, no! And Puck just ends up leaving the game. What? What? Oh, my God. Okay. Okay, so what happened here is, number 1, he just shot his units right there, I think, by accident. But we have got to watch that battle again. Get rid of the production tab. We don't need that anymore. Get rid of this. We don't need it anymore. But I guess we do need the units tab here. So watch when the Observer here dies for Puck, because that's when he actually just ended up losing the game. So where is his Observer? Okay, so it's right here. And so we see the battle commencing. The feedback goes down almost immediately. And you can see army supply basically identical for both players. There's a slight lead in the army supply for Puck. But the feedback goes down, so there is no vortex going to happen here. And then the Observer moves a little bit too far. You can see it is right there. Is this where it dies? And where's it die? Where does it die? It's still alive right here. Oh, no, it dies. And then all of a sudden, you see all these units? Not for long, as they are about to disappear, and then he can't see anything. So even right now, he's ahead in supply. He's trying to kill the Mothership. The Colossus, though, out of position. And I just can't believe that. Take a look at the view of Puck here. You can see he has no idea what's going on because he can't see those units. And then even with another feedback, look at that. 1 HP, spams it right there to try and kill off the Mothership. What an infuriating loss here for Puck. You can see it as he just kind of ends up leaving the game, and Incontrol just lulls his way into a victory. So I just want to cast a fun game for you guys. Thank you, Incontrol, for sending me this game. It was indeed worth a big old smile. A 1 HP Mothership winning him the game. I don't think I've ever ever seen that happen just because of Mothership. It has so much HP, so it either has a lot of HP or no HP. It has 700 total damage you have to deal to it. Plus, does it start with armor? I can't remember. Yeah, it starts with 2 armor, so a lot of damage has to be dealt to a Mothership to actually take it down. But what an interesting game out of EG's Incontrol. I always love him, man. He's such a good personality. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.